How to become another person. We often feel limited in how we can live our lives, but what if we could take control and create a life of our own design? We can reinvent ourselves and become a different person if we are willing to let go of our current identity and face the challenges that come with it. This is not an easy process, but with the right mindset and some self-awareness, we can transform our lives and become the person we want to be. In this video, we will explore the Stoic teachings of how to become another person and how to use our perspective to make big changes. In order to truly transform ourselves and our lives, we need to be willing to make big changes rather than just making small adjustments. We often get comfortable in our current way of living and are hesitant to upset the status quo, but this can lead to missed opportunities and a lack of true growth. Instead, we should embrace change and be open to becoming a completely different person. This may be scary and challenging, but it is necessary in order to truly evolve and become the best version of ourselves. We should also view adversity as a chance for a fresh start, like Zeno of Citium did after his shipwreck, and turn it into a life-changing opportunity. It's important to remember that we are in control of our own thoughts and can choose to see the universe as a place of change and growth. Before going deeper, let's first understand these important points. Recognize that you are allowed to do anything you want in your life. Remind yourself that you are the only one who can decide how to live. Take the time to get to know yourself. Ask someone you trust to be honest and blunt with you, and work to let go of any judgments you have of yourself. Identify who you want to be. Take time to write a future autobiography of this new you and create as detailed a portrait as you can. Brainstorm actionable steps you can take to become this person. When creating your to-do list for the day, think about what this version of yourself would do. Reflect back at the end of each day. Evaluate if the actions you're taking are beneficial and if you're creating habits that help you in becoming this better version of yourself. See the world through the perspective of the future version of yourself. This will help you to make significant progress in a short amount of time. Here are the 6 Stoic teachings to become a different person. Limiting beliefs about how to live our lives. We can become a better person by changing our old belief system about how to live our lives. The Stoics teach us the most powerful tool we have is our perspective, the lens through which we view the rest of the world and give meaning to the events in our lives. To make a significant change in who we are and become a better person, we must let go of the beliefs and thought patterns that no longer serve us and take on a new perspective. This means understanding that we are in control of our life and can choose how we want to live. We must take time to get to know ourselves, identify who we want to be, and create a clear and detailed portrait of the person we want to become. We can then create to-do lists that help us to become this future version of ourselves and reflect back on our progress throughout the day. By making this conscious effort to reflect, think, and take action, we can become the best version of ourselves and take control of our life. The power of creating and becoming someone we admire. The power of creating and becoming someone we admire is immense. It allows us to let go of who we think we are and pursue a life of purpose and meaning. It gives us the courage to step out of our comfort zone and challenge ourselves to become the person we have always wanted to be. It allows us to look beyond our current circumstances and see the potential for greatness. It gives us the opportunity to really explore our capabilities and find our true calling. And most of all, it gives us the power to make a positive impact on the world and the people around us. The power of creating and becoming someone we admire is a transformative one. It is the power to break free from the confines of our current roles, beliefs, and expectations, and to create a completely new version of ourselves. It is the power to choose our own destiny, to let go of the past, and to make ourselves into better and more evolved versions of ourselves. The importance of making big changes. Making big changes to become a different person is incredibly important in order to reach our full potential and to live the life we want. As Seneca said, "We are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it." We need to be willing to make radical changes in our lives in order to become the person we want to be. The Stoics teach us that the most powerful tool we have is our perspective. This is the lens through which we view the rest of the world and give meaning to the events in our lives. We have to be willing to question our own identity and belief systems so that we can become someone even greater. We often become complacent and get comfortable in our lives, thinking that life is just supposed to be the way it is. We forget that we can choose at any time to become someone different. We have to let go of who we currently are, and that can be scary. But in order to become an even better person and contribute to the world in a positive way, we have to be willing to step out of our comfort zone and make big changes. We can start by taking time to get to know ourselves and understand our blind spots. We can then identify who we want to be, create a detailed profile of our ideal self, and start taking action to become that person. We can form habits that help us on our path and reflect on our progress. By taking these steps, we can become the person we want to be in a relatively short amount of time. The fear of change and stepping out of comfort zones. The fear of change is a natural instinct, but it doesn't have to keep us stuck in our comfort zone. To overcome this fear, we need to understand why we are afraid of change in the first place. Often, this fear is rooted in our need for security and uncertainty about the outcome of the change. We worry about what might happen if we step outside our comfort zone and try something new. Fortunately, there are steps we can take to help us overcome this fear and become the person we want to be. The first step is to recognize that change is inevitable and that it can be beneficial. We need to remind ourselves that change can open up new opportunities and experiences. We can also remind ourselves that failure is part of growth and can be used as a learning experience. The second step is to focus on our goals and the desired outcome of the change. We need to be clear about why we are making the change and what the benefits will be. This will give us motivation to push through the fear and take action. The third step is to create a plan of action and break the change down into small, manageable steps. This will make the change seem less daunting and more achievable. The fourth step is to seek out support. Having a support system of friends and family who understand our goals and are willing to help us can make the process of change easier. Finally, we need to practice self-compassion. We need to recognize that change and growth can be difficult and give ourselves grace when we make mistakes, turning adversity into a life-changing opportunity. When faced with adversity, it can be easy to become overwhelmed and bitter. But instead of allowing adversity to define our lives, we can use it as an opportunity to become a different person. By embracing the challenge and seeing it as a chance to grow, we can learn to become more resilient and to create a better version of ourselves. It is important to recognize that we are not defined by our circumstances or the actions of others. We have the power to choose how we want to live our lives and become the person we want to be. We can choose to make big changes and transform our lives. In order to make these changes, we must first understand ourselves and recognize our own blind spots. We must practice self-acceptance and be willing to take an honest look at ourselves. Then, we must envision the person we want to become and create a plan for how to become that person. This might include making changes in our habits, relationships, and thought patterns. The role of thoughts in shaping our lives and the universe. Thoughts are incredibly powerful, and the Stoics taught us that our thoughts have the power to shape our lives and the universe. If we believe that we are not in control of our destiny, that we are limited by our circumstances, and that we cannot change who we are, then our thoughts will reflect that. We will make decisions that are safe and comfortable, and we will create a life that is predictable and unfulfilling. On the other hand, if we believe that we have the power to choose our destiny, to create our own path, and to become someone different, then our thoughts will reflect that. We will take risks, make bold decisions, and embrace the uncertainty of life. We will be willing to let go of who we are in order to become someone greater. The Stoics taught us that by changing our thoughts and beliefs, we can create a different reality for ourselves. We can choose to become another person, and we have the power to shape our lives and the universe. We just have to be willing to take the time to understand and get to know ourselves, have the courage to let go of our current identity, and have faith that we can become someone greater. Final thoughts. Remember, you can decide to change who you are at any time. You don't have to wait until calamity strikes in order to decide to make a big change in your life. It takes a willingness to be fearless and step into the challenges so you can learn and see the obstacles not as things to be avoided, but as the very things that strengthen you and make you even more resilient. So take some time to understand and get to know yourself, Create a detailed portrait of the person you want to become and take steps each day towards becoming that person.